Hey everyone, Jan here today, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how you can create a podcast with your own voice without actually doing any work. You just run a workflow. So I have created here this podcast, and it has several episodes. And this podcast is actually auto-generated with my voice, but I'm actually not really talking here. It's leveraging ElevenLabs in this case to clone my voice and then create a podcast from that. And so we are using here a Needle workflow, and in this workflow, we are having a schedule, which means that we want to run this workflow every day, for example, at 3. And the very important part here is, and it's the crucial part of this, maybe one of the two hearts of this workflow. First of all, the ElevenLabs, additionally, the Needle agent and Needle kind of indexing of the files. We want to create a Needle collection. In this case, we have created a TLDR AI collection. And what this collection does is, so I'm here right now in a collection that you can create a connector, and I have created here a connector, and specifically Uno has created a connector to TLDR. In this case, we are looking always at emails that specifically state TLDR AI because we are following the TLDR AI newsletter. And that then is indexing actually the data. You see, for example, today at 14:13, 2 p.m., it has indexed the latest email, actually, newsletter of TLDR. So now we have this content of the TLDR newsletter. We are querying this, and then we are getting the file contents here with Needle. So we are getting actually the index data. And then we are stating to an AI agent, please kind of like create a podcast that's called The Knowledge Thread and hosted by Jan from Needle.app. And we have here kind of some guidelines on how we would like to talk. We would like to make it, for example, a bit funny, 4,900 characters, around 5 minutes of audio, and so on. Then we are here in ElevenLabs. We are using one node, and we are passing here specifically this voice ID. So we are stating in the prompt of our node here, please pass this voice ID. And what is happening then is that I have trained here in ElevenLabs my node, which is called Jan Heimes, which is me. And this node has been actually trained on myself. So I just fed in some videos such as this one, and this voice has been generated sounding like me. Actually, I find it pretty crazy how good it sounds. It actually sounds very similar to who really I am. For example, if we go here to Spotify, we see that different voice files have been generated today. You see, for example, different kind of podcasts, and these podcasts are based on the TLDR newsletter, and then the Needle AI agent reads through them, generates like a script from it, and the script is then converted to voice with ElevenLabs node. And finally, what we can do is then we have this voice, we create a new episode, we take the file and we drop the file here, for example, the MP3 file, and we can just kind of like use this as our title. Title is also generated in the AI agent, and that's basically it. And this podcast then would also show up here in our Spotify podcast. Pretty crazy, in my opinion. If we want to check one of our previous runs, this is kind of how it looks, and this is kind of what comes back. Hey, have you ever wondered about the next big thing in tech might be? And so this is actually generated from Needle based on the content that it queries, because we are indexing the newsletter with our Needle Gmail connector in our collection. And then we just pass this to ElevenLabs. ElevenLabs is generating a voice from it. We are extracting just this voice URL. And finally, we are uploading this voice URL with this specific, like we are stating here, please, based on my transcript, generate like a title. What would be a good title for my podcast based on this kind of transcript? And it says future forward, exploring groundbreaking innovation in tech. And then we're uploading it and sending a Slack notification. And then we take the last manual step, which is just drag and dropping this MP3 file here to Spotify and having basically our podcast running. So if you want to also create a podcast which sounds like you and is based on some like really cool content, I have generated a template here for you. You can just use it yourself. And I think it's kind of mind-blowing how cool this workflow is and how cool this is to create a podcast with yourself. I have asked some friends for some feedback on the podcast, and little people actually realized that it's AI generated. I would say maybe 10%. The rest were just like, really, this is like AI generated? That's crazy. So I think it's really fun. Try it out, spin up your own podcast, become an expert in whatever kind of subject you would love to be an expert in, and have fun with this workflow with Needle.app. Cheers.